Alrighty. Hi, everybody. So, this is your weekly energy update for this week. And the energy feels fresh. I don't know about everybody, but the last couple weeks kind of have been feeling a little bit. I don't know if I want to use the word dark. Maybe it just kind of feels like there was a lot of like rumination, a lot of fog, but trying to get clarity. And I was mentioning this the past, what, 2 or 3 weeks. I just feel like there has been a lot going on in terms of, well, clarity. And obviously, in all areas, I know there was a lot of like love energy, and that probably had to do a lot with relationships or even friendships or family stuff. Um, and there's a lot going on there, but it also just feels like people were shedding. And I have talked to some people, and it's like, yeah, a lot of us were kind of going through a little bit of a like mini death and rebirth cycle, which again, like, this is kind of what happens. Like, not every death and rebirth cycle has to be huge, right? It can be many ones to kind of like clarify where we are going, right? And what we are putting out in this world and what sort of things we want to create, right? So tuning into this week, it feels like there's just a lot of clarity, momentum, and action in different like areas in your life. And the main ones that I was tuning into was definitely career, whatever that means for you, and also relationships, but not just romantic. Okay? There's a lot in like whether it's like family or friendships or even just like partnerships that are romantic. Um, so yeah, let's get into it, but those are kind of like the main ones. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of you are coming out of a shedding cycle. Whatever you've been like moving through, whatever you have been releasing, and it could have been emotional, it could have been like a belief or a habit or pattern. Again, regarding anything, you've just been kind of looking at that and you've been shedding. Last week would have been more of like the recalibration, but you could also be recalibrating this week, right? Again, everyone's kind of on different like timelines, right? But yeah, so this week is coming out of a cycle of shedding, integration, and recalibration. Could you still be like processing that? Of course, right? But because a lot of you are coming out of that kind of cycle, ooh, there's an inner fire like bubbling in you, which just means energy. Like, you have the energy, you have the clarity of where to go, what to do, your next step regarding whatever the heck it is that you're working on. And I did write down, it kind of felt to me more of like career or project. That's kind of what it felt like more for a lot of you, that perhaps you've been working on something, you've been kind of questioning yourself, like either like how to get raise, or how to move up in your career, or how to gain a certain skill set, or perhaps it's like you're just working on a certain project for whatever you're creating, and you're just like, okay, like, I need to do X, whatever X is, right? And like I said, you're getting the clarity, you're understanding the next step. And it's because it's like that, it's like from that sacral chakra, that inner fire in you that's just like, all right, like, I'm not just going to sit around, wait around anymore. I need to act. I need to do. And that could look like contacting people. I was tapping into the feeling of like even asking for help, right? That's you getting clear on like, this is what I need to do, and I need to contact so and so to receive the help of whatever, right? Or you're just clear about your next step, essentially. Which that's a really good feeling, right? When you've come out of that fog, when you've come out of that like shedding, it's like, all right, time to go, time to create, time to, take action in a certain step, right? I also wrote down that it also feels like there are opportunities coming in for you. And I feel like the last couple weeks, perhaps I feel like it's been it's been ruminating. Like the seeds that you have planted, it's been ruminating. And again, it happens differently for everyone, like exactly when, but it does feel like there's this like energy of abundance and opportunities that are going to start coming up. You could start seeing it this week, and it does feel, guys, like it's going to be multiple offers. So I did write down, please, like, always use your discernment, use your intuition in choosing what is best for you, right? And that also goes like, let's just say you do get an opportunity that comes in, right? And it's like that first opportunity that comes in, but let's say it's not aligned. Something about it is not aligned. Don't say yes to it just because it feels like maybe you've been waiting months for this opportunity, and it comes from like that scarcity mindset of like, oh my God, maybe I need to take it because I've been waiting months and blah, 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 right? And then you like grab onto it. But the thing is, you don't even realize that there's few more opportunities on their way. They just haven't come in that exact timing yet. And again, whenever you say no to something, basically you close out that energy, and a more aligned opportunity, a more aligned yes comes into your life. So just be mindful of that. Whatever comes into your life this week, whatever opportunities, partnerships, collaborations, or even relationships. Like this also connects to relationships. Like tune in with your heart, right? Tune in with your heart and make the right decision for you. Really feel like, is this aligned for me? Or am I going to, or am I like contorting myself? Am I overextending myself to make this fit? Do not make it fit, okay? Because again, the right thing will come to you. It will. Sometimes you have to say a few no's before the right thing comes in. I swear that's a thing. Didn't someone like famous say that? I swear to God, it's that sounds familiar. I know I didn't get that like out of nowhere. You have to say a few no's before like you meet the right yes type of thing. Anyway, yeah, so use your intuition to choose, because it feels like some of you are going to be confused with what opportunity or what person or whatever to go with. Tune in. You don't have to respond right away to whatever comes in. If it comes in like all at once, let's just say thank you, and then move out of that and tune in and see if this actually feels right for you, so that you can make the best decision for yourself. So don't get stuck in the mental loops of like, I don't know about this or this or just quiet, tune into the heart, tune into your intuition, and you will receive the right answer for you, because you already know. But sometimes we doubt ourselves, right? And that's okay. It's a process. Um, there is also like a huge focus on trust. which the funny thing is it ties into what I just mentioned, but trust overall. Like, it feels like, yeah, a lot of you have probably ended a lot of things from your old life, which makes sense. Again, this has been the theme of 2025, and it's left you a little bit of like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Yada yada, right? Like a lot of us have had these major death and rebirth cycles these past couple of months, in this past year or year and a half even. Um and I get when you are being forged in the fire, especially when it comes to patience. And you're like, I don't get it. I've been waiting. I've been tuning in. I've been embodying, um, what I want to call in and bring in into my life. I've been getting clear on like the type of life I want to live. And it's like, I get it. I get it. When you're treading that long and persevering for so long, the I want to call it like the muscle of faith can get a little bit tiring, right? Where you almost want to drop that weight. So it's almost like you are losing faith and hope. But it's like, guys, whenever we're this close to the finish line, to like wherever we're headed, it always feels like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it. Like I'm just gonna like drop to the floor and pass out, and that's it, I give up, right? It always happens like that. Think about runners, right? When they're training, right? Again, I can't really speak to that, but I understand that like they do go through quite a process where it's like that last, what is it, like mile or so, where they're like, I can't do this anymore. I I don't know. And then all of a sudden, like something kicks in them and they're like, all right, like I gotta do it, I can do it, da da da, right? So there is an element of like, if you are feeling that way, just like you can do whatever you need to do that your soul tells you to do, that your heart tells you to do, to kind of recalibrate that. But ultimately, just keep on trusting. Keep like trust the unfoldment of your life, because you truly are walking like the right path. And basically just trust your intuitive instincts, especially for those of you that have surrendered. When you surrender so much to the unknown, to the divine, and you've cultivated this relationship with the divine, it will never lead you astray. It's just your path is going to look different, right? It's not the conventional path. It's going to look different. And even if you are walking the conventional path, anyway, it's gonna look different than from everybody else. So stop worrying about, am I doing this the right way? Am I, achieving all the right things? Forget it. Your life is your own. It's your own story, and just lean back into trust, because it really does feel like for a lot of you, you're so close. You're so close to this like, I wanna say, like, the physical manifestation of your new beginning, because I do feel for, like, a lot of you, energetically, it's like this new beginning, you're already there, And remember, I have said, we often like start things energetically for first, and then this is how it just has to happen. Like this is literally the law of manifestation. It's like you feel the energy first before it comes into fruition, into the physical. That's just how it works. So you can feel like my new beginning, has started, or that, whatever you're working on, should be here. What, like, you can feel all of that, and that's a good thing. That's a good sign. But just because it hasn't happened in the physical doesn't mean it's not going to happen. There's a delay. There's a delay between the energy and the physical. And the feeling itself should actually tell you that you're headed the right way, you know? So keep trusting. Trust the unfoldment of your path in your life. Okay, guys? Alrighty. I feel like that's pretty much it when it comes to career. I think so. Mm, well, yeah, the only other thing I wrote was that I guess can tie into career and whatever you're building is that, yeah, more seeds that you have planted from a while ago are going to start to bloom and come into fruition. And that's essentially what I just mentioned, right? With the trust, like you're feeling the energy and you're feeling it for a reason. And it is coming. You're watering your garden. You've been dedicated. And like guys, that's such a beautiful thing when you can be dedicated and devoted to watering your garden without seeing the evidence. Like it's one of those things, it's like one day you wake up on an unexpected, I don't know, Tuesday. And you walk out and you're like, oh my God, there's, this flower, there's this vegetable, there's this fruit that bloomed overnight. And this is just how it starts to happen. So just trust that. And yeah, for those of you, this kind of felt more like for those of you that are creative and entrepreneurial. I just wrote continue to build your foundation, especially after letting go of so much. Slowly but surely, you're getting ahead and feeling confident in the direction that you're headed, which essentially touches what I talked about in the beginning. Um, yeah, now moving on. You're welcome, guys. Again, I don't really look at the chat too much when I'm doing this, but again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing in whatever way, your energy. And yeah, again, I do this for you guys. So I really hope you resonate with these. um, okay, moving on to relationships. And this is not just romantic, this is like relationships overall. Um, there's quite a few of you that are coming into clarity regarding your relationships and friendships, and you're putting boundaries in place and just removing anyone that is toxic or negative out of your life. And it just, again, it kind of connects to the last few weeks I have been mentioning how there's been something happening, especially in romantic relationships. But again, this obviously will bleed through in terms of friendships, coworkers, and family members, where it's like you've been looking at your own patterns, you've been looking at the type of people you have been attracting into your life. There's been a lot of like just reflection in that area and seeing like where, maybe you haven't showed up or why you attract the type of people that you do, how you can reassess that or like how you can show up differently, right? Which is kind of like a metamorphosis in a way and just like a death and rebirth of like, all right, well, I'm not willing to entertain these types of relationships anymore, right? There's been a lot of energy around there. And I know I haven't been the only one tapping into this. Like I know other kind of readers and oracles have been tapping into the same thread as well. But yeah, I feel like because of this clarity and like momentum and like fiery kind of energy, you're just you're no longer willing to have people in your life that aren't benefiting you in terms of like they're not showing up for you. um all they do is kind of take from you, or they have like negative kind of outlooks or beliefs, and you're just kind of realizing like, wait a minute, the type of people that I surround myself with, I know that I become like them, so why do I want to surround myself with these types of people, right? And so you're just placing boundaries on that. You're like, you know what, I need to remove myself from that. I need to head in a direction that looks like this, and you're just realizing like you need different type of people to talk to hang out with, because you yourself are changing as a person. So what I was feeling into this, it's like if you don't place those boundaries and remove those people will also start to fall away from you. Especially if you are the type that initiates conversations or always reaches out to people, when you stop doing that because that is a boundary, it's like those people will just exit out of your life. And again, whatever emotions come up, whatever kind of like grief comes up, because I get it. Like, guys, I have grieved even friendships because we do that's actually a very normal thing. So whatever emotions come up in terms of whoever you're letting go of or putting more boundaries and distance, if you need to grieve. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with grief. Just let yourself feel it. This is how you process that detachment from that person, okay? Yeah, feel the feels, process, and move on. um, yeah, releasing any attachments, habits, patterns that aren't serving you and giving good so yeah, like what I was tapping into is like this could be around people, but this also could be around like what you are attached to in terms of like any bad habits, negative habits, um, yeah, things that you're doing in your life that you're just like, you know what, this isn't benefiting me. And like when you tap into that higher version of yourself, that version of yourself that you want to grow into, you're just like, that's not what they're doing. They're not doing, let's just say, like, eating at late at night or, I don't know, like, any bad habits that you guys are like, "I don't see my future self doing this." It's just like you're detaching yourself from that and you're making the changes that need to be made, because that's how you start moving into that higher version of yourself, right? And it's not a comfy thing. I get it, especially when it's been a habit or something that you've been doing for a while, or even a person, a friendship that you've had for a while. I know it sucks. It sucks to shed yourself from that, but it's a necessary thing if you know the path that you're headed looks like this, and the person that you're becoming is doing, like certain things, or doesn't do those like habits, bad habits, or doesn't have these type of people. It's like you have to make those sort of actions and decisions, because that's how you move closer to becoming that person that you know you visualize yourself to become. um Staying in like that emotional relationship bracket, because there were a few things that were coming up in this. um so yeah, it feels like after you remove whatever needs to be removed. Again, this could be a person or just a habit. I wrote that something is coming into balance, which makes sense. Balance and harmony. And that could just be like an end of a situation, an end of a tough situation that you have been in, right? Because you finally made the energetic space of letting go of whatever. And now it's like your energetic space can recalibrate to a more balanced and harmonic way, where there's new things that are going to be coming in, new people, new opportunities. Yeah, just even new habits that's going to benefit you. All of this is to benefit you guys. Um, yeah, also it feels like there's, like, restoration and harmony regarding a relationship. So again, this could be like you removing people because you know these people aren't willing to change, you don't resonate with them, blah 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 blah. But it also feels like because I wrote, I think it was last week about like communication, about emotional clarity. It also feels like it's bleeding into this week as well. So whatever kerfuffle, whatever conflict, whatever misunderstanding you had with someone, again, either romantic, platonic, in your work, whatever, family, whatever misunderstanding, it does feel like you guys are going to have a heart to heart with that person. And there's just going to be a lot of like emotional honesty, emotional clarity. And it's going to come from a place of compassion. So both sides are going to be able to hold space for each other to listen, truly listen to each side. Because I get when we're in conflict with someone, we often just see our own perspective and we don't see the other person's perspective. And so sometimes when that person tells us something, it can feel kind of like an attack. So just be mindful. And it does feel like a lot of you, you're just going to be holding space for that and willing to hear that other person out, hear their perspective, just to get a better understanding and clarity around whatever happened. And then essentially, guys, this is what brings you closer to that person, which is why I wrote it's going to bring a sense of balance and restoring harmony between you two, right? So there's like two things going on. Obviously, it depends on each and every single individual here. You could actually be dealing with both, where it's like you're removing certain people in your life, and whatever people you were kind of having a little bit of friction with and you just want clarity, there's going to be emotional clarity and heart to hearts with those people. Yeah, I wrote an emotional week. It's an emotional week for people, and it doesn't mean like you're crying. It just means like there's a lot of emotions coming up in you, and that could be grief, that could be sadness, but that also could be a lot of love, a lot of happiness. So it does feel like it's a week of also just communicating that. So it literally could be like, I love my friends so much. I love this person so much, and this person has helped me with this and this and this and this. And you're gonna want to feel to express that to that person, or you could be on the receiving side of that, of someone finally expressing, like, hey, you've helped me in X, Y, and Z. And I just want you to know that I love and appreciate you for that, you know? So there just feels like there's this good emotional current flowing between certain individuals, and that's a beautiful thing, guys, truly, because you know yourself when you receive a compliment like that from someone, you're like, hey, that's awesome. Like you didn't expect it, but it just makes you feel like you've done some good in the world. And yeah, it just makes you feel appreciative. So I also feel like, because now it just came to me that this also could just be happening with strangers. Cause yeah, I just kind of got like a vision of like people at the grocery store and like seeing someone and that's interesting. Yeah, there's something like about the heart chakra kind of like blossoming open. And for some of you, maybe that's a little bit new, right? And again, it doesn't mean it's in full blossom, because I have experienced myself that the heart, every time you think like you've reached a level of like, wow, that's pure bliss and love, oh, there's more. Oh, there's always more. But I don't know, there's something happening with the heart for all of you, actually. Yeah, and thank you for whoever just sent hearts, because I saw that. Literally, that's what it feels like. Interesting. So it's like the sacral and the heart chakra, that, and even the throat, actually, when you think about it, because of that communication. Guys, this is lovely. Truly, like, even with the endings that need to come, it's happening because it's like, you just know that isn't this isn't serving, and it's like you're cutting certain things and people off with love, really. It's not out of hate. It's not out of, like, bitterness. It's just like, "No, this isn't serving me anymore, and so why am I pouring my energy into it," right? So yeah, interesting. And then, yeah, I wrote basically that this week also just feels, which makes sense with the emotions coming up and feeling them and expressing them, that it feels like a week of harmony, bliss, laughter, connecting with your inner child, and having your inner child be expressive this week. Again, whether that's dancing or some kind of adventure or creating something or just that actually makes a lot of sense. Wow, I didn't even connect that yesterday with with it being like an emotional week. Like I said, in all the ways, in like good ways, and if you need to cry, cry. Oh my god, yeah, that does connect to having your inner child feel safe enough to come out and feel safe to express themselves in whatever way, shape, or form. So if they want to laugh, they laugh. If they dance, they dance. If they want to create, they create. But if they need to cry, they cry. And I feel like a lot of you are tapping into like reconnecting with your inner child. Wow, I didn't even write this down, but that is what it feels like. And it's like your inner child feel safe to express themselves and express themselves even to the people that they love. Oh my god, guys, I should have named this inner child like your inner child coming out and being playful because that is what it feels like. Aw, that's awesome. For you guys doing that work, I'm happy for you. Truly. Because your inner child, when they feel safe and they feel safe enough to come out and express themselves again in whatever way, shape, or form, that's you reclaiming parts of yourself back. That's beautiful. I also wrote down, though, that yeah, there's you coming into that and you feeling that, but it also can be that a new person enters your life, or it's a person from the past once you have this heart to heart with them. But basically, a person coming into your life that makes your inner child feel safe enough to be seen, to be heard, to be expressed in whatever way, shape, or form. And yeah, that's a really sweet thing. And again, that also connects to when you remove certain friendships or relationships or whatever, you make room and space for the right people to come in. And like I said, there could be a really sweet connection coming in where again, it could be romantic, it could be a friendship, it could be in so many, you know, different ways, this person comes in. But it's like your inner child's going to feel seen. Pay attention to that. Honestly, people like that come into our lives, they're gifts. They're gifts. Not many people can hold safe space for your inner child to come out. And so for those of you that can receive that, those people are gifts in your life. But another way that this can be expressed is basically you doing a lot more self-care, self-love, just doing things you love, which I mentioned before. Which is, by the way, guys, this is a state of receptivity. This is what helps things come into your physical reality when you're embodying that self-love and you allow your like, if you think about it, kids know how to manifest. They don't even have to think about it. They manifest because they embody that feeling. They express their emotions. They're in that high vibe kind of state. Doesn't mean that they suppress their low states. They actually express them, but then they move on. It's only adults who are wounded stay stuck in mental loops and then don't allow themselves to move on. You know what I mean? But for those of you that are embodying that, this is how, oh my gosh, you enter the state of receptivity and you allow things to come into you. Oh, love it. Love it. For those of you doing this work, like, trust me, when you enter that state and you practice and you be in that state, especially when you're so connected with your inner child, which also is just a connection with your heart, you'll start to see like beautiful things pour into your life. Um, I also wrote down in brackets, yeah, which I kind of mentioned, basically new love coming in after a release. So again, this could be a release of an emotional release, a certain friendship or relationship that wasn't working for you. Again, I know some of you are calling in that like higher level love, and it literally could be because you just need to release certain things to make energetic space for this new person coming in. Um, that is pretty much it, actually. Feels like a good week. Feels like there's momentum. Does it feel like your sky, like you're launching off into space? No, but it feels like there's momentum after like hermit and solitude for the last couple weeks. Um alrighty, the numbers coming out for this week was 1, 6, and 8. So 1 has to do with new beginnings, new cycles, and again, 1 almost every was coming out almost every week. I think the last maybe 2 weeks it didn't, but essentially it's about a new chapter, new beginning, new cycle. Could be like just new opportunities or this fresh momentum, this fresh feeling of like, all right, I know what to do, I know what actions to take, and you go and do it, right? 6, harmony, right? I spoke a lot about harmony, family, soul connections, and relationships, which again I mentioned throughout this reading how this week is going to be focused on that those heart to hearts, heartfelt communication, and yeah, harmony. 8, sovereignty, abundance, so opportunities, and timeline shifts. So yeah, it just feels like when you have that momentum of going and, oh, okay, and you releasing whatever isn't serving you, whether it's relationships or attachments, habits, you do actually technically timeline shift, right? Because you're moving away from something that isn't serving you. You're moving away from an old version of yourself and you're moving towards this new version of yourself. Um, there are a few animals coming out, and I kind of bucket them into because they were pretty much very similar. So jaguar and panther were coming out, and also whale and dolphin, which actually, if you think about it, that connects with this whole energy of the reading. Because jaguar and panther is all about, it's big cat energy where it's power, action, shadow work, and protection, right? That's that like clarity of knowing where you're going that way. And then the whale and dolphin, which is all about that like inner child and emotions, right? So joy, fun, playfulness, inner child, emotional clarity and honesty, and intuition. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys this week. Feels good. Feels like a lighter start to the week, which like I know the last couple weeks have been a little bit heavier. Like I easily tune into like my own stuff, but also I know it is the collective, and I do feel like a lot of you have been doing like shadow work and stuff like that, which I have a video coming out tomorrow about what's happening in the masculine collective, which is really interesting. It connects to you guys have been shedding a lot. And yeah, it came to me and I was just like, oh my gosh, it feels like a lot of you are actually starting to show up, which is a great, great thing. So that's out tomorrow. Um, alrighty, guys. I don't really see anything to comment on, but again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And if you're watching this after, then again, like, just thank you for your energy. Thank you for whatever contribution, even like energetic contribution. Because again, I do this for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you resonate. And I hope it just gives you clarity of what you can expect or prepare yourself for this upcoming week. Alrighty, guys, sending you lots of love, and I'll see you on a live next week. Actually, I think I might do one this week. I'm not sure whether Wednesday or Thursday because I'm going to tap into the month of December, and I want to do like another live for that. So either Wednesday or Thursday. Alrighty, guys, love you much. Have a good one.